I would say that the macarons more chose me. They kind of came naturally to me, so that's why I started creating them and developed them into my business. But yeah, I definitely say they more chose me out of all the pastries that I could do. There was just a natural fit for macarons and me. It worked out well. The French Parisian style is usually made with an Italian meringue. So that's like your egg whites and simple syrup that you combine to make an Italian meringue. And then you've got your almond flour mixture that also has egg whites or your flavors or your colors or whatever you're using there. And you combine basically your Italian meringue with your almond flour kind of mixture, and then you pipe them out with a piping bag and a tip onto parchment or trays, and then they like to rest. So you can't rush the macarons, so they need to rest. You know, and every recipe is kind of different, whether you rest it for 45 minutes or an hour or longer. And then they bake pretty quickly because they're pretty small and light. And then you've got two that you put together with a filling, and that's a macaron. We have done themed collections in the past. So for Christmas, we kind of had two different lines of macarons that we were doing. We find though that right now with the trends being really young, people's macaron flavor interests are more typical, kind of your pistachio and your raspberry and your ones with ganache. And so even when we did our kind of special themed line, everyone really wanted kind of our regular assortment of macarons and was just waiting for them to come back. So we find that sticking with kind of more traditional flavors is best for us, and then when we want to have fun and just kind of go off the cuff, we'll do special editions with kind of wild flavors whenever we feel like it. So not really sticking within a particular season, but just all the time on the side, we kind of like to do that for fun. Rare that I'll have to throw out like an entire batch, but I don't think it's something that you just achieve and then it's good to go from there, because anytime you're using a different mixer or oven or humidity changes, the seasons change, you're always responding to kind of the batter. So I'd say it's something that you have to keep working at always. I would say that cooking isn't my career. I'd say that people are my career. So cooking is a natural way to connect with people and to have those relationships. It's kind of a good first kind of introduction to people over meals or drinks. So I'd say that people is really kind of where my career is focused on, and food's just a real natural kind of production of that feeling. My style, we live really versatile lives, so it's anything from like my hiking gear to I love dressing up, but honestly because of my height, anything that fits is pretty much an option, so I like the tall girl store. I love the creativity, so I mean the natural fit with macarons is that they're simply beautiful, like they're just by themselves, just very naturally beautiful. So I think I love baking, baking mostly because in my mind it's kind of a way to recharge. That's when I would do my cooking, is kind of after a long day at work. I would come home and bake or spend my time on the weekends baking, so I've always really enjoyed baking. So I'd say my favorite part is probably just kind of being in my own head and creating. So that's definitely changed as I build, you know, my business and hire staff and have a team, getting used to the fact that the kitchen just isn't my own quiet space. It's getting busy, so that's been a fun challenge.